Hello and thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, drama at the House of Representatives over bill prescribing 7-year jail term, 500 million naira fine for public officers involved in medical tourism. And later on the show, federal government investigates importation of adulterated petrol into Nigeria as NNPC names culprits. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adekunle Yusuf, while Tolu Ogunjobi will join us for the business segment. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with something disturbing. As a country, we tend to let the water get above the ankle before attempting to bail it. Reports of incessant killings for money-making rituals across Nigeria is one example. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to declare national emergency on such killings, considering a motion of public importance titled Need to Curb the Rising Trend of Ritual Killings in Nigeria. The House also asks the Inspector General of Police to take urgent steps to fish out and prosecute the perpetrators of such killings. Jide, we've started this edition since Sunday, and it's gaining traction, even to the House of Representatives now. It's a problem that we can't, just condole again.
It's a matter of big concern. I saw a picture of 4 guests who are said to have been caught
arrested.
Caught with 4 human heads. Two. By the time women start killing men for money-making rituals, a lot of us will be in trouble, because the Nigerian man is very active sexually. Even when he has a harem of women as wives, he still doesn't feel any contentment. He still has to look for young girls here and there. Man, these are dangerous times. 4 girls caught with human heads. This is the sort of story that I never imagined could happen. And frankly, everyone has to be careful, because in the course of sleeping with a woman, after ministering to her, you get tired. It means anything could happen. You could be relieved of your head. So,
how do you minister to a woman?
You want me to use the explicit words? No, you can minister to a woman.
Your administration
is the word I use not appropriate?
NBC will not factor.
So I've used the appropriate word. Let people decode what I'm saying. Let people feel the danger that I feel for permissive men. Because it's men, people have been killing their girlfriends for money-making rituals. By the time women too start doing it, you know that senators, House of Reps, many people simply think that because they have money, they are entitled to a harem. They will now see that indeed there is fire on the mountain. So I'm happy at least the House of Reps is now saying, look, what is the Video Censors Board doing? We talked about that here. Yeah. Too many movies preaching money-making rituals and all that. We've got to do something. And they are also saying that, look, the National Orientation Agency should begin to disabuse the minds of young people.
Yes, because I wanted to ask you, if they don't get results, I don't think this thing will be on the increase. I don't believe in it. But I think somehow, do you think from your investigation, because I know you like...
No, we are doing something.
Do they get results?
They do get results. Many of them do get. There was a time at the Nation, this matter came even from the editorial board. They were talking about money ritual. So now they now said, is it real that we should investigate? And in my team, there is somebody I know for sure who is based in this kind of So, but by the time we came on, you know, it's real. You understand? But it comes with, you know, dangerous consequences. I mean, fatal consequences. But many of them don't
mind.
They don't mind.
In that report, you see somebody who said, okay, if I enjoy for 10 years, you know, 10 years of opulence, is it not better than the next 30, 40 years of misery and poverty? So they don't care. Because in some of the problems, you will die suddenly, or you may even die slowly. You may have such terrible consequences.
Some conditions
that they don't mind.
Graveyard, go to cemetery.
They don't mind. Some run mad, some anything happens. But to some of these people, they said it's okay as long as the money will come. And how many years? 6 years, 3 years, 10 years? They say it's fine. So, and to me, it's a reflection of the total breakdown in values and morals in our society. You get my point? You see some children, they go to school, they are the one, you know, supporting the family. You ask such, you know, daughter of where what
call it
in the university campus,
19-year-old girl,
in the university campus,
family.
do they share money there, or you pick money in the classrooms? But some of our parents will not bother. You get my point? You know the kind of children you have. They go to the polytechnic, to the universities. They come back with iPhone, 10 iPhone, whatever.
12,
some, you know,
and
some of these things cost close to $1 million or even more. Some parents will not bother. Students buy cars for their parents, and the parents shamelessly come out to jubilate, to say, "Jesus, you know, those, you know." These are some of the things we've lost. You get my point? So you see, it's just, we are talking about moral, ritual cleaning. There are so many other things that have gone wrong with our society. Things that you never believe, you know, could happen before. They are happening now. I saw one, the headmaster, you know, lamenting that even at primary school, you know, parents come to lobby to pass, you know, children, and at that level of education. I say it's not possible. They say it's happening now. So we've lost touch with what is decent in our society.
Judy, ultimately, the House of Representatives stepping in now, what do you think? Is it a problem from the government or something that should begin at home?
Well, it has to be from the cradle. It has to be from our respective homes. We are not bringing up children properly anymore. Some of us think, oh, it's such a bad thing to beat a child. But we are products of beating.
Beating.
Consistent beating.
Yes, we didn't die.
But we are who we are today.
It makes us better.
Children today, you see, as I've said before, that one of the worst things that can happen to you is for both of your parents to be teachers. I had that. I won't call it misfortune. As a child, both of my parents were teachers.
That's serious.
My mom, literature teacher, my dad, English teacher, you know. And if my dad sees someone rolling his shorts,
like what they do now, SAG.
When he was just rolling your short, when he was teacher at Abdulaziz in Okene, and other places where is that's our principal or vice principal, it will beat the hell out of you. Then one day in my house, in our own house in Ilorin, I rolled my shorts. I thought, this is holiday, so nobody will talk. Then he walked up to me and said I should stand like ramrod straight, like a soldier, so that I won't be able to block the slap that was coming. This was how I stood, you know. But I'm better for it today, and I thank him for the way he brought me up. Because without that, maybe I would have fallen by the wayside, you know. So at that point, you will not like it. You will even hate him. But somehow, when you look back, you know that, look, you benefited from good parental upbringing.
Yes. The Holy Book says, train up your child in the way of the Lord.
Yes, and it says, don't spare the rod.
In our schools today, do they beat children?
No,
you cannot do
it. We've seen some people even go to the extent of arresting teachers, not because even the child was beaten. No, Just based on rumor mongering, you go and arrest a teacher. Only God knows how many people will have arrested my father if he belonged to this generation.
Moving on now. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, never relent in ensuring that people displaced by Boko Haram insurgency are properly resettled to their ancestral homes. In one of such efforts, Governor Zulum resettled returnees to Matari with 58.5 million naira, food and other items. Jide?
This is what he's been doing for some time. He's determined to resettle people in their respective homes, because in their respective ancestral homes, so that the economy of the state can begin to boom. When I was speaking with him in December, informally, he said, we made a lot of harvest. Borno is one of the most fertile states in our country. They may not experience tremendous rainfall, but the way God does his things is the one who understands. The north is full of fertile land, though they don't experience as much rainfall as the south.
Yes.
They can grow virtually everything in ample quantity. So these people in the IDP camps, a lot of them do not like the life that they are living. If their communities are safe, they want to go and farm. They enjoy farming. You even see some IDP camps, some pieces of land near an IDP camp, you see them attempting to farm. That's to tell you that they enjoy farming. And when they farm, they know that, look, whatever yield comes from the farming belongs to them. They take so much pride in seeing the fruit of their hard work. But in a situation in which you are giving them handouts, I mean, it doesn't really make them happy. So the governor has been trying to resettle people, those who are prepared to go back home, you know, and he has rebuilt communities. 803 houses rebuilt. All of those houses were destroyed by Boko Haram. You know, I told you that when Boko Haram attacks a community, they won't leave any house standing. This is a fact. I've seen many communities that they destroy. They won't leave any house standing. So 803 houses destroyed, he had to rebuild them and rebuild new ones. He rebuilt new ones so that those who did not even have houses amongst those ones destroyed, they can have somewhere to lay their head. I've seen some of what they have done, even the federal government to assisting with some building projects through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, you know. So this is what he has done in this case. 240 male returnees getting 200,000. He's giving them money as well. Yes. Then 100,000 to 500 people. Remember last almost 2 weeks ago now. Almost 2 weeks ago, he did something similar when he gave us 600 vehicles, 610 tricycles, and 100 Toyota LE, the type that we use for Uber and Bolt here. That Toyota, very strong Toyota. He gave out those ones to unemployed people in the state, so that at least they can make a living out of that. So we have to commend this man. His type is rare. This is all I can say. His type is rare.
Adekune, now, we've seen this attempt, we've seen this kind of move before. Now, securing this area should now be a kind of priority for governments. So, instead of rebuilding the houses now, and Boko Haram will just be watching, waiting for security to to be relaxed there, and they descend on that community.
And when you look at this governor, you see the passion to serve. When you see visionary, people, this is one policy people have been talking about long before he became governor. How many people had the courage to dare to do it? How many? He came, even when he started, many didn't still like it, but he said that is the way out.
That the most decongested.
That's the way out. If you go to IDPs, you won't like the place. You see able-bodied men and women just copulating, just having children. And you cannot blame them when they are doing nothing. You've been there now. I've been in IDP camp. What you will see, you will not like it. So he knew, this governor knows that the best way is to find a means of resettling these people. When you resettle, the security agencies will have to up their game because you have to protect them.
You have to protect them.
You get my point? So when you see a good leader, when you lead, others who are unwilling, they will be forced to follow. And that's what he's doing. Believe me, if it works at the end of the day, it will be a model for, because what he's doing is actually the best. It's not sustainable keeping people in the IDP camps.
No.
You put 2,000 there, by the next 1 year, go and see how many people. Many children will come up within 1 year, because when man and woman are come together doing nothing, can you blame them? You get my point? So the national emergency, all those organizations and agencies that are taking care of them, at a point, they may even run out of cash, because yes, the government is not making enough money. So what do? The best way is solve this problem once and for all, and this is the way. This is the way.
Okay. A mild drama ensued during plenary at the House of Representatives when members debated a bill seeking 7-year jail term or a fine of 500 million naira, or both, for public officers who seek medical treatment abroad at public expense. A member of the House, Ibrahim from Ogun State, who seconded the motion for second reading of the bill, later withdrew the motion, sensing controversies in the debates. Jide, okay, I don't know. 7-year jail term or fine of 500 million naira, or both, for public officers who seek medical treatment abroad at public expense.
Yes.
And this went through first reading. The second reading, the guy decided to...
he wanted an amendment.
Okay.
To the law. The National Assembly had already banned the use of public funds for medical tourism. But
can we break it down?
There is no, I'm heading somewhere. There is no punishment stipulated. He was trying to take the ambiguity away from that, from that law, because the law that we are talking about is the 2014 Act, which says no public officer of the government of the Federation or any part thereof shall be sponsored for medical checkup, investigation or treatment abroad at public expense, except in exceptional cases on the recommendation and referral by the medical board, whose recommendations and referral shall be duly approved by the Minister of Communication of the state, as the case may be. Now, we're talking about what the law says. What does the law stipulate in case this law is breached? Does it punish anyone who takes public funds and decides to go on medical tourism? There is no such provision. So he just felt, look, if we are saying, look, we don't want people to use public funds for medical tourism, those who now willfully, in spite of the law, go ahead to use public funds, what do we do to them? That was what he was trying to address. But of course, with everything Nigerian, the moment this looked like a big controversy, the other people started grumbling and all that, he decided to back down. Okay. But
if we are referring to public officers now, people like President Muhammadu Buhari that goes to the UK for medical treatment, I was meant to understand that that's part of the perks of his office.
If it is recommended
Okay.
Because the law, see, listen again. It said, except in exceptional cases on the recommendation and referral by the medical board, whose recommendations and referral shall be duly approved by the Minister of Communication of the state, or the Minister of Health of the state, as the case may be. So, of course, is the president. With this provision now, I can tell you that all of these people will get referral. Federal lawmakers, if they want to go and they want to use public funds, they know what to do. They know the steps to take to ensure that they can use public funds. But my suspicion is that Honorable Siaka believes that people don't even go through this procedure. Some of them, because they have access to public funds, they will just decide to go on their own. That is what he was trying to see that we put an end to by ensuring that the law stipulates sanctions. Sanctions when you go against the provision of the law. So that's the point I was trying to make. And for me, when the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority said we spent $1 billion annually, on medical tourism, and that in 10 years, the last 10 years, we spent $11 billion. Now look at what $11 billion can do, even in that sector. Yes, if $11 billion is reinvested into the sector, we'll have better hospitals,
primary health centers, secondary health centers, tertiary health centers littered across the country.
Yeah,
with $11 billion.
Even foreign doctors will come.
Nigeria of today, earthwise, there are hospitals in Nigeria today that can compete with any hospital anywhere around the world. You get my point? There are some hospitals in Nigeria today, I'm talking about private hospitals, that are better than many hospitals anywhere, that are filled and equipped with the best, in fact, over-equipped. You get my point? But the truth is, all this law, they know. Now, it's everything Nigerian, we have a way, the way we do things. I remember Honorable Uche Nyagocha, we were talking one time. Yes, that at some point, members will just come up with something, hey, they are going for so medical treatment or whatever. That he said at some point in the chambers, they will be joking that, Honorable, this time, this ailment you always say you are doing all the time, what of if the thing now eventually happens? You get me? So it has become, a regular thing among themselves. But this is something that is very difficult. It's very difficult to legislate because look at that law.
The minister or commissioner for health.
That's why I'm saying the same appointee. If the president does it, assume he has breached the law. Now you are saying his minister. Why will his appointee not recommend it?
Why will a governor's commissioner for health?
Why is commissioner of health of the governor, who is an appointee of the governor, not recommend it? Even when you now catch them this way, they will now say they have not spent public fund, and you cannot catch them like this. This is Nigeria. We don't run a transparent system. From the presidency to the, federal to the state to the local government, it is what they want even the media to know, that we get to know at many of the things we don't get to know. So it's so difficult. The man that stood down the bill probably saw the kind of things that will be happening. Maybe he was afraid.
No, of course, his own colleagues too. A lot of them were not happy.
But looking at the
but another person can take it
from
up.
The figures that you quoted, that means a lot of Nigerians will want this, because if you look at the population of Nigerians that don't have access to this facility to even go abroad, they can be up to 5%. So
we are funding hospitals abroad. In India, many of the hospitals have opened desk simply to try and attract traffic from Nigeria to their country for medical tourism. And when I was doing my research, I observed that the bulk of the cases that our people go abroad to treat cancer, kidney-related issues, heart-related issues, orthopedic.
Major operations.
Yes.
Major
orthopedic. Then the major destinations are in that order: India, UK, US, UAE, and Germany. Then in Africa, Nigerians go to Egypt and South Africa mainly. So at the end of the day, if we can,
what we take out,
yes, if we can spend this kind of money, we can appropriate this kind of money and spend it, we will have the best medical service available. Even doctors from foreign countries will be able to come into our country, you know, to live, to work, to work here.
Because the terms are.
I know that there are some hospitals here where we have some foreign doctors. We will be able to make that sector viable. I don't like to use the word profitable, because doctors don't like to use such words because people, they can't be happy that people are in distress and all that. So, but you can say that the health sector will be far more viable if we can spend like $1 billion every year.
This amount.
Yes. $1 billion. And people stay here, spend the money here.
Just hold on there. Let me just take this break. When we come back, we're still on this topic. We'll be right back after this time out. Please don't go away. Thank you for staying with us. This is Journalist Hangout, and I still have Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adekunle Yusuf in the studio, and we are looking at that bill that is seeking a 7-year jail term or a fine of 500 million naira, or both, for public officers who seek medical treatment abroad at the public expense. Jide, this is something that a lot of Nigerians want Honorable Ibrahim Saka to retender this bill, amend it very well. We are very interested.
Yeah, but it's already too late. Clearly, he backed out when the thing became a controversy, even between him and his colleagues. The Nigerian big man protects himself very well. Some of these people know that this kind of thing can the blowback can be bad for them. If you come up with a law, you want to come up with a law that will not eventually deal with them. So some of them feel that what kind of amendment does this person want? The law is there, but he was only trying to put what was not part of the law, which is the punishment for breaching that law. Yes, you are taking public funds to go and treat yourself abroad, to go and do investigate your ailment abroad. There has to be consequences for breaking the law, isn't it? That's the point that the man was trying to make. But at the end of the day, what he suggested, the 7-year jail and the heavy fine, did not sit down well with some of his colleagues, and in the end, he was forced to back down.
I have Frank. Frank is calling us from Abuja. Thank you for joining us, Frank.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, you're doing a great work, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm calling from Cuba.
Cuba in Abuja.
Yes. This medical tourism, they actually know what they are doing. We can do the whole analysis and do the whole talking, but they know what they are doing. Just our leaders are not serious. We don't have serious at all. 500 million fund, 7 years jail terms. They already know what they are doing. Because definitely, an Englishman said, he that paid the piper dictates the tune. There's no way it will be approved for them to travel, knowing very well that the money are going to spend, they're going to do, what do you call it, share. Like one of your guests was saying, that jokingly they are saying the National Assembly, that sickness you are saying, if you actually now, they can travel without being sick. All they need to do is collect the money. But we are just praying that God will give us the right people from the top to the bottom, that Nigeria will become the pride of the nation in time to come. That's my prayer.
Thank you. I say amen to that prayer.
So honestly, I thought it's lying. We don't have the kind of leadership that can do it. Even if it is passed, who will sign it?
It will take somebody that is determined.
You see the kind of leadership that is selfless, totally selfless. What we have in Nigeria is self-serving leadership, selfish. And the elite, they are one. Believe me, they protect one another. You need to study them. They protect one another. So whether the president is outgoing by the time you do it, I don't see it seeing the light of the day, because it can happen to anybody. And some of those provisions, believe me, if you like, put anything there, the Nigerian big man will break that law and nothing will happen. Even if it means factoring such things into contracts for friends and all that, whenever they need it, they ask their friends to fund it, and they say they have not spent government money. This is Nigeria. So we need to know. I'm sorry, it can't work. It can't work with this kind of leadership we have. It's impossible.
But Jide, we must try to resuscitate this
argument.
Punitive measure.
And there has to be, in my view.
We can't. And
when you come up with a law, that strongly says, look, this cannot be tolerated, then you must stipulate punishment. Where you do not stipulate punishment,
then there's no
you are encouraging people to go ahead and break that law. You need to stipulate that if you then break this law, these are the consequences. When there are no consequences for iniquity, people will continue to do what they like. So the man, seeing that there clearly no consequences for breaking the law, he was trying to introduce something at least. But as you know, even in the National Assembly, before you can get such position across, you must have done extensive work with your colleagues. Your colleagues must support it, with their heart, their full chest, before you can bring it up. So as things stand, it's already controversial. So he just decided to back out.
John is calling us from Ephraim in Delta State. Thank you for staying with us, John.
Hello, good evening, Babajide.
Good evening, John.
You people are doing wonderful work there. In fact, we are so proud of you people.
Thank you, John.
Let me permit me to talk about the issue of ritual killing. Apart from ritual killing for money, there are still some traditional religion that are still killing people to make sacrifice to their juju. I think the police needs also to look at all of this together, so that our country should not be doing things like this. I mean, people should not be doing things like this in our country. And then coming to politicians who are very selfish, actually they are not representing the people. Imagine somebody who is a public office holder. None of the child is attending our public school, and they are the one in charge of our public school. Imagine somebody who will critique or criticize those who are in power to say, medical treatment abroad, we should not do it. And when they have power, they themselves, they go for medical treatment. So if we can harness all of these resources to develop our health facilities here, it will be good for everybody. There will be no need for anyone traveling abroad and using our money to better the life of people out there. I pray that God will help our country and our leaders to represent our interest and the interest of God. Thank you so much, Obagide, and the rest of you there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, our ability to remain calm in the face of calamity is legendary. While we continue to wonder how adulterated petrol got into the system to cause panic, the federal government has vowed to investigate the circumstances surrounding the error. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, that's limited, that NNPC, said it has discovered those responsible for the purchase and the distribution of the adulterated petroleum products into the country by 4 cargos. The group managing director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, said he has since ordered the holding back of all the affected products in transit, but a lot of adulterated petrol appears to be in circulation already. Let's share some videos with you.
That's the same plenty. This one no mix with fuel, now direct that to be that. That's be like Borno.
Landia you go. Original mod. Go there.
I have Tolu Ogujobi, the money man, joining us. Tolu, I don't know. What is happening?
It's sad. It's really sad, you know, to see something like this in 2022. We are still faced with this kind of product coming into our country. What amazes me most is the fact that this happened Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we didn't hear anything from the authorities. They kept mute until late on Tuesday when we saw a press release saying that and people were buying. People were in queues, you know, still buying this product. So it's sad. And what I was talking about earlier today is the fact that who is responsible for this? The NNPC is the sole importer of PMS into Nigeria as we speak. No other person imports petroleum products. I don't know. But today we've seen the NNPC GMD come out to list some companies like the Wandos, the MRSs of this world. I think like 4 or 5 of these companies were named as being bringing these products in. And I also know that the NNPC does direct purchase and direct supply, which is supplying crude oil to get PMS back. So if there are people that have done wrong, let them be called out the way these companies have been named and let us know what will happen to them. Cars have been damaged, engines have been damaged. Where do we start from?
Upon all the hardship we are facing in this country, you can just imagine what you have to put this into your generator, your new car, and you can just imagine the numbers of the cars that would have been, you know, damaged through this thing. Because as I'm seeing this thing, it's not just a matter of that is slightly different, but this is adulterated, or this is not PMS.
Well, I don't think adulterated is the word. You know. If we say unwholesome quality, I think it takes care of what we are seeing, because I find it difficult to believe that people can even pass what we are seeing off as petrol. This is just like, see how deep it is. It's just like coffee. It's just like coffee. So NNPC says is the only one, is the only, I mean, people say NNPC, they are the only ones who bring in products.
Now we know better.
I have never believed that. Because I know there could be 1 or 2 other people that they give preferential. We are in a country where there is no accountability.
Nobody will ask you.
And with this,
the pressure out there is
this sector,
yes,
is the most difficult to believe whatever they say is the most difficult to believe in recent times. So if you are saying that you are you wanted the world to believe that there was no subsidy, Kachiku spent time trying to fool himself that there was no subsidy. He changed the name. In fact, there was a time at the public at an event that he flared up where somebody used the word subsidy, all because they wanted to promote the notion that subsidy was gone. We all know better now. Now, you're saying that you are the only one importing. Now you are mentioning some companies. MRS have even said no, that we have no hand in this. It's only NNPC that imports. You know, so who we are trying to compromise even this investigation from the beginning. Whoever has imported, let's put it this way: whoever has imported, whether it is MRS or one company or another company, don't they have quality control structures at NNPC that will look at what has been brought into our country? You know, last night I found it difficult to sleep. You know what I was thinking? I said, if somebody imports unwholesome aviation fuel into our country and an aircraft takes it in, the aircraft will come down.
Yeah.
And when it comes down, you know how many people could be killed? Some aircraft take up to 130 persons.
130K.
No, I'm talking about Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. Some aircraft take more than 100 people at once. All those ones, those McDonald's, that type that Dana uses. They take a lot of people. So, is that how we will not know who brought in the fake aviation fuel, and then our people's lives will be lost?
Totally, from your investigation, I know, like Jide raised now, is it that anything just comes and go?
Now, very interesting question. But according to this, to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, they are no more a corporation because they are not a limited liability company, according to the PIA. They are saying that from Antwerp in Belgium, where this product came from, there was a check and certification. Then getting to Nigeria, same was done. But they are saying that in all of the lists of checks, there is no space, or there is no there has been no provision for checks for methanol. I don't understand that.
Absolute rubbish.
I don't understand that.
How about the color? Is this the way?
I don't understand that.
Is this the way premium spirits looks? Is this the way it looks like?
Those words that do you understand? They're saying that no, we check.
Confuse us.
Yes, we have the A, B, C, D, E, and out of the A, B, C, D, E, there is no space. There is nowhere methanol is included. So we have to now rejig and reinstitute our governance and regulatory regime for petroleum movement. That's what it means. So does it mean that those that do these checks and balances need to go to need to get another device, or they need to be schooled on how to check
what we do
methanol on this product that's been So definitely, I believe maybe somebody compromised somewhere. Somebody has done something somewhere maybe to reduce the whatever of the product, which has led to this.
Jide, President Muhammadu Buhari, we said he's not somebody that we just take direct
action. He doesn't like saying heads roll.
Because
he's the minister of petroleum.
Countries, if this happens, yes, by now people would have been resigning.
No, look at how much we are even talking about. More than, I think, about 300 million or so.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Yes, that's
a lot of money. That's a lot of money that we are talking about here. Look, even if it is $10,000,
yes,
if you come, I've seen people lose their jobs on something as little as $20,000 in Europe and America.
Yes.
We don't copy them. We would rather copy them on some of the bad things that they do. We don't copy them on good governance.
And they will shoot some people. The president asked the minister of state for petroleum to issue a query.
Yes, to the head of I think it's the ND. That's you know because of PI, all of these names have been changed. Okay. We don't have DPR again. We now have the Nigerian midstream and downstream regulatory department, I think regulatory agency. That's what they're called, the authorities.
But they are saying that PIA will, the takeover of PIA has been
in the subsidy aspect of it
by 18 months.
It's the subsidy aspect of, you see, we are just in a confused environment.
No, they are saying that they will not implement the PIA
just the subsidy aspect. That's what they are arguing again.
A lot of lawyers.
Look, before we go on,
yes,
if you look at Petrol,
yes,
and it's of good quality, do you have to be a petroleum engineer when you see something as brown as earth to not know that that is not good petrol? You need to now go and get a device that determines whether there is methanol. I mean, what are we doing this to ourselves? If someone says this to you, you know this. The most sensible thing for Nigerians to do now is to first buy in their gallons, so that you can look at it.
Yes.
If someone says this to you in a gallon, will you accept? Look at the color. Will you accept it?
And if
will you
get into your tank?
So on your own, are you going to say you want to test for methanol?
In this,
Something that is bad enough. People can't be bamboozling us with grammar. What
I think
if it's bad, it's bad.
It also brings us back to all those times where people sit at home and they get driver's license. People sit at home and they get passports brought to them at home. It's just like this product just got into town and found its way into the market.
They didn't check it. It's
The
as simple
product
as that.
found its way into the market.
Check it
without checks.
Now they are probably going to rig. They are going to rig the so-called the processes. They are going to rig the processes now. Tolu, you and I know how things run in this industry.
Yes.
You are their friend. I am not
They're
their
very
friend.
angry with me.
Now the thing is, remember when they were lying to us about the cause of scarcity in 2017 and I think part of 2018? Whereas they had issues of supply disequilibrium. They didn't admit it. They continued to lie that Nigerians were the ones doing smuggling, this and that. Until Moman members went to the floor of the Senate. You remember?
Yes.
Because that day I said, take that portion.
Yes.
Until Moman people went to the Senate to say, look, from this month to this month, we have seen a tapering down of the quantity of supply.
Yes.
At that point, the argument from Kachiko and his people stopped because they had been exposed. You don't sell the product yourself. You give this product to independent marketers and major marketers. Once those ones can say, look, even from the depot where we get this stuff, supply had gone down. There were occasions then when I told you go to some depots, go and check, and you got there and found that in those depots, big depots in Lagos, they didn't have supply. Yet they were lying to Nigerians that no, what happened was that people were smuggling.
Okay, I have Peter calling us from Jalingo, that's Taraba State. Thank you for joining us, Peter.
Yeah, good evening, journalist hangout.
Good evening. Please quickly.
Please, you know, a lot of things has been happening for us here in Nigeria. Just imagine about this police issue. That a lot of arms and nations find their way missing out of police and up to now. There's past IG that left office, present IG, the people that this thing happened in their tenure.
I get the point that I was making. That investigation conducted by the auditor showing that some weapons were missing from police armory. That's what he referred to, that there were some IGs when these things happened. What did they do? They're supposed to bring them back to come and explain how the weapons got missing. More than 300 and something thousand weapons.
So ultimately, we don't have this history of, you know, filing class action and everything that people that are affected already since Sunday, that I have to go and buy fuel and I have to go and do. How do I? If somebody, if somebody's engine has been, you know, affected now.
There was a meeting yesterday between the same Nigerian downstream regulatory authority and the MOMAN members and IPMAN members and all of the stakeholders in the industry, both NNPC and all of them. And they have come out to say that according to the MOMAN chairman that spoke to us, he says, he quoted his own company, I think at Dover or something, he said they had about 136 vehicles and they have attended to all of them. I was asking a question. where do you go back to? Do you go back to the filling station where you bought the fuel, or are you going back to the depot where they bought the fuel from? These are questions that they need to answer.
So who will even pay for this now?
So because so that it's about, according to the figures I saw, about 14 point something billion naira is what this loss. So it's not small money at all. So I think our checks, our balances, the entire sector, like we're talking about the PIA, we're all waiting for this PIA, thinking that the PIA was all going to change the face of this sector. But look at where we find ourselves. Today we still don't know which is which. So it's worrisome. But I think that those involved in this, they should be named. Let's understand where the issues come from. Let's get to the roots of this so that it will not happen again.
People will have sat down somewhere plotting how they will wriggle out of this. It's part of who we are or how we are. They will wriggle out. You will see that after a while, nothing will happen. Nigerians, our attention.
Tomorrow, like Lagos, the queues are already subsiding.
So people will not talk about it again. And in the future, somebody will bring something worse than this.
About how many billion?
About 14 point something.
They've set the nation back. That 14 billion, you know how many boreholes you can sink across our country. You know how many problems you can solve. No, we are wasteful people. So we will not, this thing will quietly to die down. You won't hear that anybody has been, because now it's party that we are doing. You won't hear that anybody has been punished. As we said before, the president doesn't like seeing heads roll. But it's still the best way to do things, because people, if they are convinced that they won't be punished, they will continue to do terrible things. Like somebody else will bring something worse than this, and we will be talking about methanol. We'll be arguing instead of going straight to go and punish the person.
Responsible, NNPC or major marketers.
Major marketers will only distribute what
they were given
to them.
Of course, it's NNPC. There's no two ways about it.
So the best thing, I think, the slight solution, maybe in the long term or short to long term, is opening up the market. Letting players get into the market.
Even if they open up the market,
but we still need to monitor.
We still have to find a way to check.
Checks. Very important. Quality control. That's it. We do it here, even in the media world. So that shouldn't be done.
Even go bring stories now. Even when people sit here, some people will say, Jide does not let people talk. I'm not a fool. If someone comes here and is going to libel a person, who will take us to court? That person is a guest. When they take us to court, it is you and I that will be at the front. You think I will now allow him to run his mouth and say all kinds of things? I won't come in. I will come in. I won't. So that's the thing. It's part of the checks. Yes. They just find some people 5 million naira. Where are we going to get that in these difficult times?
So look, thank you for your contribution.
Always a pleasure. It's been a while. Great to be on the show again.
All right.
We brought him in moment of adversity.
Thank you for always being there. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. And don't forget to watch us on Sunday. Journalists Hangout on Sunday. That's 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. God bless Nigeria.